Okay, so you guys got it, right? Arjun and Artsy can be adding new people if you have any new participants. Okay, so I'm super excited. Welcome to our official launch of the open source framework. It's been pretty long road for us, and we're finally here. We've done multiple little teeny tiny launches, private events, and our communities here today, they've been extremely helpful for us to identify our issues and help us to shape the framework. So I'm really, really grateful. So, okay, we still have people coming. Crystal's here. Hi, Crystal. Who is this framework for? This framework was designed for primarily with 3D artists in mind, so they don't have to worry about anything except for their environments, except for their awesome creativity. But we also very welcoming to developers. If you're a software engineer, if you're a developer, there is a great avenue for collaboration. And if you are neither, if you just maybe coming as a business owner, this is a great place for you to be, because if you are thinking of building virtual reality application, now you have a starting point, because it's probably very confusing. Where do you start? How do you even begin building? And if you're hiring somebody, you can even say, hey, there's a framework exists, I would like to use it. And then you can go directly work with either artists or developers, right? So a little bit about our company. Let me go to our website. We are a new startup. Vertex Form 3D develops and maintains an open source Unity framework for building standalone virtual reality applications, available for free on GitHub. The reason we did it because the framework for virtual reality application is the same. All artists can create 100, if you give 100 developers the task of creating backend infrastructure, it's kind of look the same. But for artists, you can give 100 artists a task and they all going to make it different, right? So artists bring the life to virtual reality applications, and that's why we wanted to help with that. Another important part of our roadmap is to build backend support for the framework. Also, very important thing to know is that this framework lives on your computer. So once you get it from GitHub, it is on your computer. You can customize it, so we don't have anything that is ours, right? You will remove our logo and everything like that. One thing that we're developing, it's not developed yet, is the backend infrastructure. That infrastructure is, of course, for managing backend. For example, if you have team members that not directly have to work with Unity, but you want to give them access to your worlds, give the moderator rights, or you want to make some words public or private. If you worked with Altspace, you kind of know what I mean. So this is something that we're trying to recreate. Okay, so another thing that we're going to be building is the API support, because there's a lot of different APIs that we want to use. There is geospatial, there is different AI tools, right? So different companies develop different AI tools that you might want one company, you don't want another company. So we're going to try to build this bridge, because we're going to be also helping with AI avatars. And there is a video. A lot of people want to have stream videos inside of virtual reality application, or have maybe even a Zoom inside of virtual reality application. So that is all will be handled through the backend, which is currently in development. So if you go to the website, we have this framework already linked. I am going to put it in the chat. Yeah, and feel free to chat and write your app ID in the chat, and I will save it. I will read it later. So we also have example app. Currently, example app is 100% of what the framework is. So if you will download the framework, if you open it up, and this is exactly what the example app is, we're going to be making the app a little bit maybe different. At some point, it's going to start look different than the framework itself, because we want to add some fancy worlds. So we're going to create some unique worlds for special events that we are hosting. So yeah, you can go ahead and click on this link, and I will go through the GitHub as well. I just want to show you what's inside of our framework. It is built with Unity 6. So if you are not familiar with what Unity is one of two angels in the world, Unreal and Unity. They are with Unity, it's possible to build a virtual reality application across all devices, all virtual, all headset, desktop, laptops, mobile, and everything. And it also has a huge set of tools for artists that they can use. So we decided to build the framework on Unity. So it does require intermediate knowledge of Unity engine. If you are completely brand new, you don't know, I would recommend you to go take a beginner course. Maybe we'll find something and link it for you. So you do need to know Unity. XR Interaction Toolkit, we did a lot of improvements because they had to be merged with multiplayer, and it's all working as well. We had added additional scripts to make it compatible with the multiplayer. Currently, it's MetaQuest support. We're also looking into integrating Pico. And because it's built on XR Interaction Toolkit, it's cross-platform. There's not really special changes that need to be made, except for importing SDK from the headsets that you want to use. Currently, we have 20 concurrent users, but we have a plan to upgrade it to Photon Fusion, which will allow you up to 100 players. But of course, it will come with challenges of optimization. We're gonna make sure that it all work. One of the things that I'm super proud of, we have two different ways of delivering scenes. What it means is that when your app is loaded on the headset, MetaQuest store allows only a certain amount of gigabytes, so 1.1 gigabyte that you can directly load to the MetaQuest store. The rest you'll have to load from the cloud, and we already did it. So if your app is ready to scale, you can set up the remote. We also have a remote addressable path where you can also include any of the places where you want to store your environments. And also, don't worry about it. We will go into that in detailed tutorials and some video tutorials at a later time. Also, we have individual user interfaces because there are some VR templates that just maybe there's one scene, but we work really hard to create two UIs. So each user gets their own UI. None of the users can see their UI. And this UI will have two different types of layout, vertical, horizontal, I think. And then you can choose whichever UI you want to keep. Maybe you can keep both. And of course, easy way to add remove scenes, avatar system. The avatar system also is simple. Those avatars originally came from the Udemy course. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, but I updated it. So everything there is, I created in Photoshop, all the clothes and Blender, some hair and everything. So everything is free for you to use. You don't have to use, and we have a plan of adding meta avatars because I know a lot of people are very cautious. They like their avatars to be full body, and it's okay. Our system can handle everything. We just need some hands to help us maybe integrate meta avatars or integrate Ready Player Me avatars as well. So I am a very big geospatial enthusiast. I have an experience in geospatial in the travel industry. So I really wanted that feature. And that is a great feature because if you're working for maybe architecture visualizations or travel, also out of the box, you can connect to Cesium, you'll get your token, and it's also free, and you can get any place around the world. And also great for some fantasy worlds, so you don't have to go pull up really complicated terrains. You can find a terrain that you like, maybe, I don't know, in the Alps or Mount Everest or whatever, and then make your scene black, dark color, and then you will have all the terrain there. And also we decided to leave fly mode as a part of the package. So fly mode will be enabled by default in Cesium scenes, in all geospatial scenes. We possibly will do some Boolean that you can use fly mode in other scenes, but we'll see, we'll talk about it. So we have also on our website a couple of projects. So shout out to Artsy. I'm so happy last week we had a very small session for a very small group to make sure that this framework is we have a clear avenue between installing the framework and uploading to the store. And she was like a marathon runner. She did 6 environments, I think. She brought them from her alt space world, put it on the app lab, and I was like, okay, let's go. So we sat down, we went, she put it on the app lab, and we met in her world. I was like, oh, that's amazing. I don't have to figure out controls. I don't have to figure out, there's no other environments I have to find artsy in. It's completely her own little world that I can visit. So I'm super excited about that. Another thing that we're working on, it's constantly updated. Today I will be adding more, but if you want to get started, this will be probably enough for you to start. Um, we're going to go through the installation instructions, how to navigate to the scene. Also, we always recommend that you will install this version. I know some people can try a different one. If you want to break things, feel free and let us know if something broke. I recommend installing on the D drive or some other drive, but we have users that install on C drive. It's fine. It works as well. Another thing is that the first thing that you have to do is to get the multiplayer token, because without it, you will not be able to really take advantage and test the environment. So getting multiplayer token is also free. As I said, 20 users. It's very easy. We have a link to the dashboard. You will go to Photon, create new app, create 2 tokens, one for PUN, one for voice, and then you will have to copy the app ID from both, and then you will install them on the back end over here. And the fun thing is that if you're working with a friend and you will both open this project, for example, and you share this API key with each other and use the same API key, you can play and you can be in the same room together. You will see each other at the same time. All right, and so testing, also this is very important. Start testing very early. We recommend you can have a link cable. Important thing to know is that the cable that comes with your headset is not compatible with, you would not be able to use it for side loading or anything because it's not the link. So link is a different cable. You have to purchase separately. It doesn't come with the standard package. On MetaQuest, I think it's $70, something $70, but I personally use the dupe from Amazon and it worked for me fine. I think it was $30 or something like that. And then I have a little video here how to launch link. That is a great way to stay connected through the link to Unity. Press play and you will be already in your application without building it, without doing anything, without really extra steps. And then you will have the Rift Home open, and then you just play on your computer, and then the game will start. Another thing is that we have an XR device simulator as well, which you can test. And XR device simulator is a great thing. If you create an APK file, put it on the headset, and then test it from the headset and from the desktop, so you make sure that the multiplayer for you works, so both of you can be in the same environment. Today, I will be also adding the scene, how to add, remove scenes, but I'm gonna walk through with you as well. So once you are, any questions? Do I have any questions here? So far clear?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can I use 6? I was just on the hub looking for 32F, and I've just installed another one, and I just want to make sure it won't break. I've installed .36F1. Will that work for today?
It might. You can try, because I really don't like miscompatibility, because we
Yeah.
were testing last week and Mark was using 34 and his cesium was conflicting with this. And I'm not 100% sure if that's the reason, but for like completely
Nope.
eliminate, but you can try.
I'll go back and see if I can find the 32F1. Thank you. That's
yeah,
it.
it's and Laurel, I know you asked for the link. Maybe Arjun can send a link, or maybe Artsy, whoever, if you guys can find the link. But if you go on Amazon and search for it, there's a lot of different options. I don't want to promote any specific link because there's different options, and just look that it will say Quest 2, Quest 3 compatible. So it's pretty kind of standard cable.
Thanks.
Hey.
I asked, you said a letter or something that was specific to it, because I've tried a variety of the cables and they haven't worked, even though they said they've been compliant. So I thought there was a new letter or something that we could go, that means it's compliant.
I'm not sure if you
So
want.
then don't worry about it.
If
Don't
you
worry
want
about it.
100% sure that it works, you can buy one from MetaQuest directly for
Yeah.
$80. But for me, that $80 link broke real quick because
Yeah,
I was
mine
just not,
too.
I was not careful, I guess. But this one,
Mhm.
$30 is lasted for me 2 years.
Okay.
Yes, and like it's also provide the like a wireless functionality, means you can test
Yeah.
it via wirelessly.
I use AirLink on that. Will that work? Like I literally got this little device that
For me,
allows
it
me to
never
use.
worked. I don't know.
Oh, well, I have it. Yeah, I have it. I use it now that I got this little device. So I think I got it off of Amazon or something. But yeah, it works really good with AirLink and
Yeah.
with this device. So yeah.
So so this is our GitHub again. Do you guys have it already? Let me send it in the link chat. One thing that working here on documentation, one thing I really would appreciate some stars here, because we only have 4 stars. We want to get to 500 because 500 stars will give us access to grants, so we can continue working on it. If you would be so kind and give us a grant, we have sponsor opportunities. If you feel generous, we're not going to be mad. But another thing, setup instructions, I included the page which will go to the tutorials, because that page will be always updated on a regular basis. To install it, from the green button, you can download zip file, or if you a little more advanced, you can go through the GitHub and install it through the link. But once you download it, put it on, again, D drive, we recommend, and then unzip it. So rename it right away, make it your company. So if you will need to download another one, so you don't get confused, just rename it right away as the name of your company and open it through the GitHub. I have here multiple. So the way Unity 6 works, I don't remember it being that way before, but every time I have to go through, I have to go through here, like if you click over here, and then you click on Android. So this is how I open, because we noticed that if you keep current platform, it will open with Windows, and then you'll be confused why your stuff doesn't work, because you switched into different platforms. So you always have to be on Android platform. So once you open, it will open up. It will take a little while because it's going to build library. Then you're going to have an empty screen, and there will be a message that will say, send users to statistic to Meta. It's up to you. I don't know it between you and Meta. If you want to, you can say yes. But then you have to go to scenes, and then you go to Vertex Form 3D scenes and find landing lobby. So, and over here, everything is set up. If you do want to feel like you're building your own app already, go ahead and remove that logo and put your own logo. I know Artsy already has her beautiful logo there. And another thing that's like on start, don't even start the game because Unity is gonna start complaining. Search for Photon server settings. And remember that we have it in here. So keep it open. I already have it all explained here, right? So just reminding you. Yeah. So once you got all this, the IDs, wait, I don't want to show my ID. Am I showing a little bit? So yeah, you will put one ID here into PUN and your second ID into voice, and then you can test. And as I explained, you can, at that point, you can connect your link, you can go to Rift Home, and then you can start, or you can just start here and then use XR Device Simulator. So I use it all the time. Any questions so far? if you guys see any questions in the chat, let me know there.
Yeah,
And
we have two questions.
go ahead.
One from Steven, and then one from Kate.
Can we?
Steven asked, for building an experience for headset and desktop users concurrently, would that require separate Unity projects?
For desktop, no. So what happens is you will be able to go to a build profile, but again, it's not set up yet because there's different thing we have to do. You got to go to Windows and then switch platform, but that's not, that part is not built yet. What I would recommend you to not mess a lot with. I mean, if you can go test everything, let us know. But yeah, it's a little different because the avatars and everything will have to be set up a little differently, right, Arjun?
Yes, yes. Like if you wanna play with the desktop and also want to join from the VR, then you need to make changes. Like, cause currently our project is made in the structure like which can support in the VR, not with the like a desktop. Like from where like you can control the character from your WSAD key or mouse. So,
So any idea when browser play might be supported? That we would love to do it as quickly as possible because this is one of the things that I personally would love to see. And also recently, Unity just started sharing web GPU. So we always talk about WebGL, but there is a new kind of system web GPU that is better, improved, faster, I guess, than WebGL. So I would love to learn a little more. If we have here Unity developers, or maybe we can reach out to Unity and figure that out. I would really like to have it. But right now, it's like airplane. Like let us start flying it. Let us make sure we don't kill passengers in the plane, and then we're gonna start growing further. Okay, let me go back to questions in a second. So you will just have to search. Oh, another thing that we found yesterday struggling with Artsy. If we have it's not an error, it's a debug log. So you'll have a red mark, and then if it says error pause, like turned on, just turn it off because it's gonna. Oh, I don't want to turn it on. All right, so XR device. Simulator. Let's go in. Where's my XR device simulator? Assets.
put a space between XR and device.
Okay. So then you will just drag and drop it on top of do not destroy and load. So it's gonna stay the whole time in your game. Then you can, if you again, this is a great thing if you don't have headset, for example, and then use tab. The tab will switch between one arm and then your head. So don't just keep using mouse. So with the mouse turning, it's not going to work really well. Use your head. So now I'm turning with my head, one hand, second hand, head. And I'm switching between tabs. And then you can connect anonymously, but in VR, you can connect with the name. We have a keyboard as well working. So XR Device Simulator is still here. You can see my avatar here hanging out. So I can go around, but you can also change the avatars. I don't know if I can try. XR Device Simulator is a little hard here. This is my favorite avatar because it looks like me, but I try to make a little variety. If you would like to provide some additional avatars, feel free to do that. Then, as I said, we have this UI also by default. See, I did mouse, so that's why it's. Let's go back with my whole body here. Okay, then we have hubs again. If you want to see your logo here, you can replace it. I can maybe show you how to do it. Maybe I'll put it in documentation to make sure that it's all correct. You can replace that with your own logo. Then we have two different layout hubs and places. Hubs is this way, places that way. So it will have a scroll down button like that when you will have a lot of worlds, or you can scroll this way like that. And then we have campfire. Again, it's all assets that I created in Blender, most of them, or if I didn't, then I took them from, what do you call? SketchUp Warehouse. I usually get assets there. It's free assets, and I will clean them up. So I'm trying to always have a very clean, and I would encourage you to do the same thing, to have extremely clean environment, very small. Make sure you don't like overload, because when I was just building my worlds at first in Altspace, I did not pay attention to the textures. I would in 4K, and then everything would freeze and shake. Make sure your textures are as small as possible. Keep them at 500. There is a way to reduce your textures, and we're going to be going over maybe create a meetup and doing all the tricks and tips on how to optimize your game better, right? So what else is here? So you can see here we have a lot of glowing materials. It's also all included. Then another functionality that we have for testing is the UI is installed also on the desktop, or in headset. You're gonna click on the B button or the A button. I'm sorry, on the B button to get the main UI, and then on the other controller on the Y button to go to settings. But on the desktop testing, you can go to this hand and click on N, just N button, and then you can click, or you can go to M button. So M button will give you access to settings. So in the settings UI, we already have sit down, stand up, mute. Megaphone it doesn't work right now. So right now we have 2D audio. Everybody comes in, everybody on speakerphone, and you can hear. So this is something we want to work on. Near grab is our newest addition, which was asked by somebody who was disabled and asked us to provide distant grab. He was in the wheelchair, and we removed the ray interactor before. And he's like, I can't bend, so we have to bring it back. And you can decide if you want to keep it for yourself or not. So, and then setting UI is, of course, a very will be evolving. Because we'll have to have a lot of different functionality here, as you guys all know, from all different apps. So, but this is also included. What else do I want to show? Any questions? Any questions? Anybody?
Arjun asked, did you consider mirror networking for multiplayer?
Honestly, we didn't, because we're using Photon right now. And the whole reason is very simple. Because I started building that using Udemy course, and I'm giving them a credit here. And I actually spoke to the instructor, Tafik. I said, hey, I use your course to build open source framework. Can I use it? But it's been modified. There's maybe 90% of it has been already modified, but the base of the course was based on this Udemy course. And that's what he used. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna use Photon. We kind of stuck with the Photon, and I think it's a great engine. It's been pretty long time for a while. And also he asked me to give credit to another course. So this is for somebody who wants to understand the fundamental principles of virtual reality applications. If you, in case, wanna dig deeper, if you're an artist, you don't have to go that far. Just keep building your beautiful environments. And we have 7 environments, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, actually 8, because we also have places. And this is, as I said, very important for me personally. Geospatial environments. Right now we have by default Grand Canyon, because why not? If you go to Grand Canyon on play on your headset and click on the left button, trigger button together, like control and the trigger button together, and point up, you're gonna start flying. point down. So this is how you control. It's pretty easy. And also another thing, if you've been with us for a little bit, you were falling through the floor. Many people did. We just heard the scream as the scream went slower and further away from us. But we changed it. So now if you fall through the floor, the system will check if you are holding on staying on the floor or not, and you will be respond back to the center, which is amazing. Another thing is the moon terrain, which is also provided by Cesium. It is, again, it's scanned. We did not build any of this. And the greatest thing is that once your avatar is spawning, it will show only tiles that avatar can see. We made it distant. I have a distant pretty far so you can see the horizon, but in the world, in the game, nothing else loaded. So when your avatar is traveling, the tiles will be loading. So nothing is stored. Honestly, this is awesome. At the beginning, they had one Cesium scene was about 70 megabytes. And they did something, they reduced it. It's like 3 right now. So it's awesome. And the moon terrain, also the same thing. It comes from Earth. I mean, it's a scanned environment. So you can pick anything on the moon or you can go flying. I created this in Photoshop. It's not great, but I thought kind of like eyeballed it. I've never been to. I kind of saw on the internet, I was like, how the moon looks, how the Earth looks from the moon. And just kind of created in Photoshop. The skybox. So how do you, any other questions? Okay. How, once you're done testing, you obviously would like to start building your own environments. And we will also put in documentation, there are a couple of steps that you have to take and to understand the setup process. For example, all of our scenes, you have to search database. If you search database over here, and then just find this little link, then it will open the database. So think about database as a UI holder. So it will be responsible for how your preview image looks, places and hubs. You will have to put exact name of the scene, like exactly how you name it, and then you can create the preview image for that. And then we, by default, it's set to local, but we also have remote. Local, that means that on build, all of your environments are going to be built into the headset, into the APK file. Once you're ready to scale, we'll switch to remote. There are different steps that you have to take to make that possible. And then the system, the UI, will be loading all of your environments from the cloud, right? So the people will see a little download button, and then they will see how big your scenes are, and then they will download it. To add and remove, it's very easy. You can just drag and drop and rotate them, and then on the UI, it will switch the position. Also, feel free to use the environment so you can build your own environments if you would like. But if you would like to use my scenes, our scenes, maybe you can just have open in Explorer. So be comfortable using just regular, just remember the Unity project is a bunch of just files inside of a file. So it's just files in the folder. For me, if I understood it earlier, it would save me so much headache that I can just take, images, bring it back and forth. So if you want to copy, just make a copy of this environment, rename it so it's all the settings will set up. By the way, the Cesium will probably, when you install it, it's going to be empty. You'll have to get a token from here. You'll have to create an account, create a token, and then it will still be empty. You will just have to Cesium alternate being ARL images, click plus, and then it should load up. And again, it will be all in documentation. So back to the database. Let's go find it again. Any questions?
Nate asked if there was talk about a marketplace for sharing resources with the rest of the community.
We are building it. We want to create a place for developers that you can either share or sell, because we had a lot of requests for something that we're not going to be building ourselves. And for example, people wanted, oh, are you going to provide different types of UI? Obviously, we're not going to be providing every single type of UI that people want. So if you're a developer and you want to build something, make sure it's connected to our system at work. So it doesn't, it has to work. So we're going to be very strict on very functional, very clean information. So then you'll be able to make money and sell it. And we really want to create a really kind of thriving economy. But we're not there yet. Again, please go give us stars, because we have a great person we're working. I don't know if she's here today. Inessa, is she here today? She's probably not, but it's okay. So she's going to be helping us with grant applications, and she told me I have to get 500 stars. So please do that so we have money to continue building all that stuff. Any other? Will share restrictions will be in place. What do you mean share restrictions? What kind of? Can you clarify what kind of restrictions? You mean, if you mean like open source, we put an MIT license, and this is, you can use it commercially, give us credit, and again, keep close relationship to us, because for scaling, you probably will be building very complicated infrastructure. I don't know if that's what you mean. What do you suggest storing remote levels? How does it work? Download. We develop education. So yes, right now, what I personally use, Google Cloud, it's one of the biggest pains that I had to go through. We will also explain how to create addressable bundles for remote storage. Right now, they're all local. I'll get back to the remote in a second. So I just want to continue showing the UI. So remember, the database is what you're going to see in the UI, and they have to be completely 100%. Then we have a second window, addressable groups. So addressable groups is what will build your environments into the headset, right? So if you don't add your stuff here, you're not going to see it. You're not going to be able, you will see your world on the UI, but you're not going to be entering it because you didn't include it into the database. If you can't see this when you open your environment, you can't see addressable groups. So you go to Windows, Asset Management, Addressable, and then Groups right here. And then you will open this window. Always keep it here. It's always open for me. Once you have a new environment, you can, if you want to start, if you don't want to copy any environments, you will create brand new scene, name it. One of the important things is to center it. So our avatar, what happens is we have this addressable scene. If you will go into build profiles, you will see that we have only 3 environments, so you don't need to add any more. You can rename them to make them your own, but keep it only 3. You don't need any more environments here, because everything else will be loaded by the address. That's why we call it addressables. And this addressable scene has a bunch of managers. So managers are responsible for spawning, voice, room manager. This was extremely complicated process that we have conquered, I think. Fingers crossed. So spawn manager, this is where your avatar will spawn, and it will spawn on 0, 0, 0 point. So that means that when you make your environment, drop a cube in the middle, recenter it, and this is where your avatar will load. So the floor has to go below the cube, right? So your avatar doesn't fall through the floor. And then once you put them into the over here into addressable local scenes, it will automatically load into the addressable scene, right? So when between switching scenes, you're going to see a little black window, which we created, and we'll be loading, screen loading, and your screen will load up. Any questions?
King responded with his question, like, About the marketplace items?
I think I did. Hold on. Oh, one other thing. Continue to the link, right? So once you are when we're gonna go through a remote scene, a separate tutorial I'm gonna make, and then you will all the scenes are going to be created in there'll be another folder created. What's that folder called?
Server data.
Yeah, server data. When you open it, there will be Android folder, and then all of your addressables will be there. You will copy them, and you can put them into Google Cloud or AWS. But what we want to build, as somebody who also used to Spatial, to Unity, there is like a little SDK tool that we want to develop. You click publish. So for me personally, it's such a pain. I've been doing it for last year, building, putting it in the cloud, making sure it's public. It's a very long step. So that's why we want to cut it short and create a bridge that you can update. So that will be backend support, again, for apps that will be scaling. That's probably commercial, like, subscription based, maybe, I don't know, we're going to think about it. So if you want a way to kind of quickly build apps, update it, there will be a separate SDK for like the pro apps. But now again, yeah, you can use anything. Artie, you said there was another question about the marketplace. Yes, Laurel is right. It's extremely important because we cannot possibly cover every single assets that we want to have here, right? And we also want to make sure that developers make money, artists make money, artists can put the environments for sale. For example, one thing that we're not going to build, but I would like to have is the driving in the car, for example, right? I don't know. I'm not going to be building it myself. I don't know how to do it, and Arjun's not going to do it. So if somebody will create the car that's drivable, and as you know, it has to be connected to the avatar. So avatar cannot just go and drive, right? There's a lot going on. So the wheel needs to talk to the avatar hands. The avatar hands need to trigger something. The animation has to trigger. So there's a lot going on. Either, fly helicopter or what I would see as our environment is more for like the culture, the education industry. Maybe some professor that has knowledge in the education industry, they work with developer or the artist, or they can go to the marketplace and developer that has knowledge in the chemistry or biology, and they can create some kind of preset test tools. Like they say, okay, there's the chemistry, I don't know, what's that table called? Mendeleev, I don't know in English, but they can say, okay, if you mix those chemicals together, you're going to have this reaction. So you can do that in VR as well, but it also takes a lot of time, and hopefully somebody will create it and put it on marketplace for sale. That would be really awesome. Yeah, the questions. Okay. Next step. So I explained this, and the steps for building APK. I personally use SideQuest. I know it's probably weird to have a third platform that you need, but this is how I use it. The first step would be to build it's for testing, right? We're not talking about publishing yet. So new build, first step, once you're done with all the environment. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, again, you can't remember it, don't worry about it, we'll put it in documentation. When you put your scene here, for example, this is your new scene, like moon terrain, and I already have moon terrain. Let me see if it will add, probably not. But once you add moon terrain, it will come with the whole address here, right? The whole address, where it's located, .unity. So remove all of that. You only need to have the name of the exact name of the scene. It has to look like this. And then create label. From the label, you can manage label. You can create a label and name your scene here, and select a label. All right. Again, it's easy once you figure it out. New build, default build script. When you click on default build script, it will take a little time the first time, But second time, third time is going to be very quickly updated. And once you build that default build script, there is a folder where your stuff is going to be stored, but you don't have to worry about it for local builds. Just like leave it the way it is. Once that done building, then you will go to File, Build Profiles, and then you will go to Build, create a folder in your I don't think I have a build here folder. So create a folder here for builds, and then just name it test APK, and then it will create APK file, right? It will take a little time. Once you're done building the APK file, I go to my side quest. I'm not sure if it's connected to my computer right now. Yes, it's connected. Then you will go to this folder. You will navigate where that folder is, right? You go to maybe Show Explorer. There will be build folder, copy side quest, and then this way, and then you will go find that build folder and just click on APK file, and it will upload and will say it's success. If it fails for you, just go follow some troubleshooting. You will see that app in the list of your apps. I have here a couple of test folders. If you need to uninstall it, just go ahead and uninstall it right here from here. So, and that's it. And then your app will show up in your headset, and keep testing it. If you want to test it in multiplayer, unplug your headset. Start it in your headset and then start it in here as the device simulator. So you're going to be both of you hanging out. So make sure that it all works, because it's very important for you to keep testing multiplayer, make sure that nothing is broken. And the last step would be publishing on the App Lab. It is also a process, not very hard. I think how long it took us, Artsy, for you to put it on an App Lab? I don't know.
Maybe like 5 minutes.
It was so fast, right?
Yeah, it was really fast.
And she sent me the link to it, and I was just like, okay. And that process I'll probably explain. I don't think I have everything open. Here you will have to go through publishing settings. Where's my publishing settings? Wait, am I in the right place?
And I'm happy to do a open studio for the VR world builders
Yeah, that would be great. Where's my publishing settings?
to walk through.
What is the player?
Oh, player. I usually have it open. I was looking into something else yesterday. Wait, where's my player? Oh, here. Here you're gonna put your name of the app, version 001, and remember that when you're publishing, so you will have to be having a MetaQuest Developer Hub and MetaQuest Link. So there are two different apps. MetaQuest Link. To distribute your app, you'll have to go into app distribution. You will create, this is my app. You can create a new app, and that will take you to, I'm not logged in. This is not my browser, default browser, but it will take you to your Facebook. Then you go through that process of naming your app. Do you have it open by any chance, Artsy? It's okay.
What'd you
It's
say?
fine. It's fine. We'll do it later.
I have everything up if you want me to show something.
The store, right? The MetaQuest store, how you did it on the MetaQuest store. You have it open?
Yeah, on the here I have it saved. The developer platform.
Yeah.
Hello guys, sorry I'm late.
Hello. Hi, how are you? Welcome. So yeah, and that one is a pretty long step. You're probably not going to, it will take you a while, but we will explain everything. You'll have to have a keystone manager, and also keep your keystone manager somewhere safe. Create new, select a location, because your app, if you lose access to the key store, you will not be able to put the your new APK in the same location, so you'll have to create a new app. So keep your key store manager, it's important. And then you will be using, always signing, constantly signing the developer, because you will not be able to put it on the MetaQuest store without the developer key. Other settings, remember that you will have to rename the company, and MetaQuest will always need one up. Every time you put a new version of your APK, it has to be, you know, intermittent or something. All right. Is that it? Did I cover everything? Another thing that Arjun was saying that he wants to build is this menu of grabbable objects. We do have a couple that we worked. They're not perfect in the Ocean Villa. So what we want to create is a menu when you want to create an object that is that spawns, respawns, and all that. Wow, I'm really far. All this object also came from SketchUp Warehouse and then cleaned up in Blender. You can use them. Right here, we have a bar. Remember in Outspace, we had a really cool kit that everybody used, the drinks kit. So this is something I would like to have. One functionality
without the vomiting, please.
Oh
Without the
vomiting.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I hated it.
If you, but no, you had to give consent. Remember?
Yes, the consent is very important because that was not there, and I didn't know that was a feature, and that was not a good experience.
People like probably confused, but in Outspace, there was what I want to also build a menu in the settings UI, so you can load up kits that you purchase from other artists, and they will show up in your VR, so you can kind of like drag and drop them as kits. And one of them was a collection of drinks, and he had this. Who would build that? We need to find them. Give consent to vomiting. So how did he even do that? Once you click OK, if you drink, you start like throwing up.
It was a timer, and the unfortunate experience was I didn't know that. So everybody said, grab a drink. I grabbed a drink, and then somebody came in who was brand new, who was their first time in VR, came to an Educators in VR event where these drinks were being served, and was a teacher and eager to learn. And I'm helping them just basic navigate and do it. And all of a sudden, my avatar opens up its mouth and starts spewing green, bad-looking stuff on top of this brand new user. Yes, Lance was there, a few others were there. I was horrified and I couldn't stop it. So that permission, that opting in and out, very important. Everybody laughed. I was disgusted. Yeah. I was so humiliated.
I'm sure some environments will want to have it, if you have a fun environment.
It's fun for parties. It wasn't for a professional networking event.
But yeah. And then what we want to build also, this is a couple of, they spawnable already. If you grab the, oops, no, I don't want to go here. What's going on? If you grab it, drop it, it will respawn back. So, but there was some issue with this. I forgot what the issue was. All right. Do you guys have any questions?
May I ask a question, even though I'm late? Hello. So, guys, just a quick introduction. I've been building for 3 years already, and I'm actually testing some softwares for an app in the Meta app store. And my question is, when I looked at the documentation and the tutorials, is that we need Photon here, right? Does it work with any other thing like Fishnet or something else?
No.
No, and so the amount of users in the multiplayer depends actually on the Photon, right?
Mm-hmm.
I understand. And the other issue is using Unity 6, starting from 28 and above, I always have a problem with the control thing, that you click the control and there are many errors. I understand it's something with Unity, nothing has to do with what we're doing here, right?
Yeah, probably. The first question, I want to go back to you. I already covered it a little bit. We're using 20 concurrent users, but we have a plan to upgrade it to Fusion, which is supporting 100 concurrent users.
All
As
right.
per our research is, I thought that we had to completely remove the Photon and add Fusion, but Arjun was doing research, and you found that we just have to just add Fusion, right? It's not going to be
All right.
a huge
And the
pain.
last question, is it compatible with application space wrap?
I'm not familiar with that.
That's the latest feature that once installed in Unity 6, it actually doubles the FPS by 2.
Oh yeah, everything that comes in something like that, it has no conflict. It should not have any conflict.
I see. I see.
And,
All right.
and the good thing is people are so used to having restrictions in VR because we are so tired of, oh, you can do scripting, you can do that. It's not, we don't have any script. It's a package that works in VR, but anything that you can do in Unity, you can do.
So I can do any language that I want, whether
No,
it's C
not
sharp.
like that. Not like that. I mean, Unity uses C sharp.
Okay.
You can do C++ or Python. I think you can do Python. I'm not sure.
All right. All right. That looks good.
But we have
Thank
a
you.
recording. I hope I'm recording. Yes, I am recording. I'm going to put it on YouTube for you to catch up whatever you missed. We covered a
Oh,
lot.
wonderful.
And I see
Wonderful.
that somebody was asking about the media player. As you can see here, I have an example of media player. This is a skybox, which is, I just created it in Clipchamp, and I had some videos that I got from Adobe Stock. I have a paid account where is a great resource for amazing videos. So you have to be a little crafty to make sure they don't look, they don't have seams. I think there is a way to do it with paid video players that you can merge. This is what I personally want to do. I want to merge, it's already going deeper into creator mode. I don't want to go into creator mode right now because we can talk for hours here. But yeah, we have media player. And another thing that we, again, as an open source, as a marketplace, we would like to encourage you, if you figure out how to display Google Drive, slides, whatever. So feel free to either sell or share for free.
Where can I find the recording? In YouTube channel of Vertex from 3D?
Yes, I will be
Okay.
posting it here today, later. Also, are you all guys following me on LinkedIn and Discord? If you can, Arjun, if you can drop the link to Discord. Please connect, like everybody, make sure that you connect to Discord because this is where we usually, and then we're gonna start having discussions there. If you have any problems or questions, please go in Discord. Maybe I'll create an account, maybe I'll create a channel called troubleshooting or something like that, so we can all have questions so people can go back and find questions. Another thing I'm going to do is discussion on GitHub. I know it's possible, I didn't do it yet, but it will be possible for me to create a discussion channel here, so that will be like forum. Once you have a problem, maybe you can go on the forum and ask a question here. So yeah.
I just followed you on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Yes, please. Everybody, please find me on LinkedIn, and there's a Discord link. And do you have any other questions? And so Nate is asking, this is perfect use case that it's, so the project, and I've been to so many different events where people would say, oh, this is so easy platform, drag and drop. I'm like, please, there's nothing easy in VR. Like if it's easy, it doesn't look good, okay? It has to be hard. And for somebody who doesn't know Unity, it will still be a lot of work to figure things out because there's a lot of connecting parts. You have to be in developer mode and MetaQuest and this and that and that. So you can, you find either artists. Again, for artists, it's going to be very easy for you to work. I already have a few projects lined up that I will be using it for. And yeah, Any other questions? Feel free to chat.
I just want to say that I am so grateful for all of the work that you guys have done on this framework. Going through, different platforms, you never know, what your security is when you're putting, investing so much time into what you're creating. So being able to have this as a creator, like my own space that is, like hosted on my own, but I don't have to go through the, trials and tribulations of, building the code from scratch is, it's been very rewarding, like the past couple of days that, I've gone through the process. Um, I catch on to things quite quickly, but it's really a very simple, straightforward beginning to end to getting my worlds, back online. And like I want to say thank you for all the support that you've given me in this, past few days, helping me get set up. And I'm happy and totally willing to share, what I've gone through to help get people set up. But there's nothing like having your own app, full freedom to do what you want to do. And I know that this is a framework and it's open source. So other people will be contributing to things, making it a better platform for everybody. Kind of following through with that, community teamwork, that we've really felt in alt space. So yeah, just want to encourage everybody that it's an amazing opportunity to be here. And, I can't wait to see what everybody creates.
Oh,
I'd like to amplify that a little bit too, because Evgenia and all your support team and everybody's with you. I want to just also say thank you for being the courageous one in the room, so to speak. You saw a gap in the market, you saw a need, and you jumped in with everything you had. So thank you for that courage. And Artsy, awesome work for being a leader and stepping forward in this. Thank you.
Oh my God, is this Laurel and Artsy? Hello.
Hey, yes.
Okay.
We're back. We're back.
We haven't left.
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah, the L'Oreal, I think like a year ago, I sent her brought like a little link with what I want to build. She goes, I don't like the design of it, change it. So I was like, okay, I made it look better. I was like, this is better. Okay, that's a great idea. I can work it. So every day I would tell her, okay, I'm doing this. I don't think people believed what I was gonna do because there was a lot of people that I talked before and they never like follow through because it's so there's so much like going on, like talks, right? Talk. And then there's a little developer, but I've been in this space for 10 years and I really like VR. Like my brain doesn't work in 2D space. I have artists, I have a lot of ideas that I want to put into world, my VR Travel Expo app, my own app. And I really, Arjun said, and I have 32 people here. If we have 32 stars today on GitHub, that would mean the world to me. We need to try to get to 500 stars. I really appreciate that.
Yay. We believe.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you're right. Many people are skeptic about it because some people underestimate the amount of work and complexity of it. And so great job. And thank you very much.
Yeah, and please keep me updated when you want. Another thing I'm gonna put once you build something, you make progress, and if your app is on the App Lab, and you want to share the customized environments that like not only our own environments, but your own, like Artsy has already put like 60 of her environments that are mind-blowing, beautiful. You should come check her app. I think you put a link on your website, right? Yeah. Check it out and send me a banner. If you're working on something, send me a banner with your website and I'm be happy to put it on here. And also our example app will be a place where we're going to meet a lot. So maybe next meeting will be create a showcase in VR and we're going to also create a banner. Maybe we'll at some point we'll create like a shared event list, So I have so many ideas. We just need to try to get funding. If this is something community wants, I will be a lot easier for me to go around. We had not invested any money, mostly work, a little money. not a lot of it, not millions like other platforms. So other than that, we've been over an hour. I want to thank everybody for your support, and I will be looking forward to seeing your creations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
Evie.
you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you soon. I'll see you in
Thank you.
VR. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.